Welcome back to the channel. Today we pull apart this rusty little MOTOCOMPO. Let the restoration begin. I guess the best thing about one of these MOTOCOMPOs is their size. In terms of working on them, up here on the bench for the first time, an entire scooter. Let's get to it. Now under here, we've got some little 10 mils. Now these are pretty rusty on the back side of the frame, like you can see there. Over the last 2 weeks, I've been spraying it with WD-40 special penetrant oil. Hopefully they come undone all good without breaking off. Fingers crossed. If they break, it's going to cause us a lot of dramas. One down, about 12 to go. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes into it and we've already hit our first snag. These little guys, we've got 3 that are pretty much rusted in place. So another dose of the WD-40 penetrant and hopefully they will let go, hopefully. Otherwise we've got a few dramas. Alright, now that I've got the body covers off, I'm going to go around and spray all the rest of the nuts and bolts that were hidden by the covers with some of this special penetrant oil from WD-40. I don't even think I would have got this far without this stuff. So if you're doing old restorations, I'm not sponsored or anything, but this stuff has worked pretty good so far. Time to have some lunch. We will let that WD-40 set in and hopefully every nut and bolt from here will be easy. Hopefully. Call an end to the day today. That was pretty hard. There was lots of rusty bolts, screws, nuts, washers, clips, tires, all sorts of stuff that made it quite difficult, but I only managed to break one thing, which I'm going to call that a success. The parts are lying down behind me. We still have the motor in the frame, but the wiring harness is out. The body panels are off. We didn't damage any of them. Some of these parts are probably no good. The fuel tank, which was one of my biggest concerns because I simply just can't get another one. Although rusty on top, it looks like it is savable. I did have to grind out the screws that hold the indicators on the front, but that's all the parts just there. Okay guys, today is a new day. It's Monday, it's after work, and I've had a fair bit of time to think about what happened yesterday in terms of the strip down. Once I stripped it down, I did take it outside and I gave it a very thorough clean, just because I'm not a big fan of working on dirty things. And today I've had a fair bit of time to think about what went well yesterday and what didn't. Apart from the rusty nuts and bolts and stuff, the thing that I struggled most with was the oil tank, removing the oil tank and the fuel tank. But I got a sneaking suspicion I got the sequences mixed up. I think you meant to pull the motor out of these things off the frame before you go to the oil tank and fuel tank. It's just all very tight in there. I'd be interested to hear from anyone that does have a MOTOCOMPO that does something like this. Does the oil and fuel tank have to come out before the motor, or do you pull the motor out then to grab the oil and fuel tank in the frame later on? But here we are, we're about to remove the frame. So just having a bit of a poke around. I think we've got this bolt here. One of the shock bolts will have to come off. And around the other side, there is that bolt there again. I think if I take those off, those 4 bolts, I got a funny feeling that I'm going to be able to pull the frame off this thing. Well, that's my thought anyway. Finally, the frame is free from the motor. I think that was the right way to do it. Pull the motor out. Then I should have pulled out the oil tank and the fuel tank. So if you're playing along at home and you are pulling apart a MOTOCOMPO yourself, that is probably the way it's meant to be. But here we are, here we have it. There's the motor free of the frame. And you can really start to see how poor condition this poor little bike is. And here is the frame here. You can see lots of surface rust. Thankfully, I don't think any of it is too bad. I think it's all pretty savable. The coil, I've got to figure out a way to get this off. It is so poorly rusted on. But hopefully I should have access to the underside. And check out this little exhaust. It doesn't look too bad at this end, but when you come down to this end, it's rusted off at the flange. And the little heat protector thing, it's not too bad, but I'll probably have to get another one of these. The other thing I've got to figure out how to get off is the ignition barrel. I think it's going to be a bit of a battle getting it off. Those screws in the back look like they've been there since religion, and they're going to prove to be quite the ordeal, no doubt. That's the MOTOCOMPO fully stripped down now. There are a few little parts still left on the frame, but nothing we can't tackle off camera. that's it for this video. The next one, we'll see what's happening with the MOTOCOMPO. But thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. See you on the next video. Cheers.